Good morning, everyone. Hope you have a good sleep last night. So my name is Raullen. I'm the CEO, co-founder of IoTeX. I'm happy to be here today to introduce something new like we're working on since last year, something we call MachineFi. All right. Oh, they have a nice screen here. That's good for me. So everyone here has witnessed like the DeFi actually taking off in the last few years, literally starting from 0 in 2017 to 1 billion in 2019 and essentially 100 billion 2021 maybe. And some people are saying it's going to 500 billion in about next few years, which I think is true, right? So thanks to Chainlink, of course, which has been the cornerstone for the DeFi use cases, that's why we're here. If it's not just me, maybe everyone here will also think about, so what will be the next big one actually after DeFi? So what's the new category that's going to be like a 20x, 100 times x bigger than DeFi, right? So that's a question like I want you guys to answer by the end of this presentation. So that's my question to you. All right, switch the topics. According to BCG and McKinsey, so by 2030, there will be 100 billion of devices around us, guys, just around us, everything, phones, watch, ring, and everything. And which produce like a 30% of the global GDP because machines can do jobs much better than human beings, as you all know, and which will create a new sort of economy, which we call machine economy. They call it machine economy, that literally like worth $12 trillion at least. That's the future, right? So what do we have for now? So for now, we have something like a very shitty, also like stagnated, which we call IoT. It's, I don't know, like you guys like the term. I don't like it too much, although we're working on this field, right? It's called Internet of Things. It basically means your cars, watch, phone, smart home, everything drone, gets connected, talking with each other, deliver some sort of message altogether. But this field is like so, a few players like so dominated and also so fragmented, right? So there's no much competition, no much innovation at all. As we can tell, if you want to do a hardware, down from scratch, R&D costs, distribution costs, already like a scale away majority of the builders and innovators. So no one wants to come here to build at all. Let alone like a very complicated tech stack like the IoT stuff has, right? That means there's zero composability. It means like as a tinker, if you want to build something, you will spend like months and months doing coding. Eventually, your thing goes to a market and doesn't fit. Game over. So that's a second problem, like no network effect and no composability. And most importantly, so there is no some financial elements, plug into the IoT ecosystem that incentivize its growth spontaneously, unlike the Web3 space, as you guys can see, lots of money incentives, lots of people participating, just grows, as fast as possible. But IoT is totally different. So that's the three challenges we're facing today. If you look at the IoT here, right, where the future is there. And if this thing sounds familiar to you guys, yes, you're right. So that's something like a Web3 can actually help to fix, at least according to our tons of research and experiments in the past 3-4 years. We come up with this term we call MachineFi. It's basically like a philosophy or like a methodology plus tech framework we coined actually last year to talk about how we combine Web3 and IoT stuff all together so we can open the door for this $12 trillion machine economy in the future, right, and fix all the problems. So basically it means incentivize the deployment of machines by having some like well-designed token economics, as well as financializing utility or data that is coming out from the machine, right? Everything you have here. As well as enable like composable and the transparent ways for people to come here to build. That all sounds good, right? So what does that mean? I show you something real. So this is the flow. Not sure if you can see this clearly, maybe too small. Basically, the pictures like what we do. So devices with some sort of SDK actually embedded into will be able to register themselves to the MachineFi tech stack, which I will zoom in a little bit later. So by giving all the data streams to the MachineFi tech stack, and the data will be massaged or like compute in a more official way to say it, right? Compute here based on the application-specific logics and produce some sort of crypto proofs. Could be zk-SNARK, could be Merkle proof, could be other kind of like constructed proofs to dApps sitting on different chains like Polygon, BNB, Ethereum, IoTeX, Solana, so on and so forth. Basically says, for example, give you guys an example, right? So the proof basically says like Alice watch, based on the Alice watch's data, so she has been running 3 miles per day. So this application, like a round to earn, should give her like 10 tokens because she's doing well. Or another case like Bob's car, giving data to this pipeline, basically proves Bob have driving like very safely, also avoid the rush hours. So his like insurance premium should be reduced according to some sort of decentralized insurance protocol. So that's kind of like a spirit of how the MachineFi and everything works. So if we zoom in a little bit into here, I think like a secret source is this new infrastructure like my team has been built starting from last year, something we call Webstream. It's an off-chain compute infrastructure serving as an open, decentralized protocol that sits in between the devices and dApps, on multiple layer ones, basically delivering the real-world data stream from the device into verifiable dApp-ready proofs. So you can think about some devices could be giving data about location, about climate, about your living behavior, about motion, about light, about heart rate, everything go through. This will opens up a lot of like a new design space for developers, right? Because you can do something like a very cool. At the same time, it reduces like a time to go to the market for developers because everybody, as you guys like building things, you want your things to hit the market tomorrow, not 6 months later, right? You want to do it tomorrow. So that's why we're doing this middleware for a lot of dApps and developers. Yeah, I think in the heart of the Webstream, so that's basically manages like a large-scale device and the data in a decentralized way. Also provides programmable compute based on the vast virtual machines. That means as a developer, you can hack in some sort of like logics over there. For example, you can calculate average driving speed based on the data stream, come in here and produce a proof to there. That also means like we have this sort of DID and confidential computing also embedded into this tech, this infra, to make sure like user owns your data from end to end because you don't want user to complain about, oh, you're stealing my data for some other purposes. No, user has a say. Like user says, okay, I'm pointing my data to this application. I'm pointing data to that application. That's all user's choice. So as a dApp developer, so your job is definitely like doing a dApp well, doing the token well, making like an incentive structure work as much as possible. So I'm so glad here, basically to announce, so we're going to release this developer preview version very soon in October, maybe 2 weeks from now. So basically to enable a lot of like innovative use cases. For example, X to earn, I talk a lot about X to earn, right? So based on data here, you can do sleep to earn, run to earn, walk to earn, drive to earn. You can also do some sort of like a fractional ownership. For example, we have like a teams who's working on this, fractional ownership of the house based on some sort of sensor data proves who's owning the house by what fraction it owns, as well as programming the physical world. That's the part I like the most. Basically, you can do some sort of a UBI, you giving tokens. For example, we're working with Citicoin. So they want to airdrop like a Miami coin to people who's living in Miami for the past 3 years, for example, right? So that's how you program like the real world. Or maybe, Chainlink can actually drop link tokens for people who's coming here or maybe stay here 8 hours a day, right? Trying to program people's behavior in the real society. So this is a very powerful tool we can actually enable. And next one is some sort of similar. It's like a proof of humanity because we do hear a lot of complaints from DeFi partners saying, oh, people are just coming here, they create a lot of fake account to just getting as much like a airdrop token or incentive token as possible. That's not something we want. We want to give rewards to real people, like give you 10, maybe give you 10, right? Not giving to the bot. So that's kind of like a proof of humanity they want. on the DeFi protocols perspective. And most importantly, like we're working with like quite a few like influential Web2 companies, IoT companies. Maybe you guys heard about Helium, right? Helium actually starts as an IoT company in the past 2030-ish and turning into like a Web3 company, pretty successful. And we do have a lot of customers also in that space. They are turning out like their shoes, their cars, their EV charging station, into something, that has some sort of token incentives embedded, so they can sell more devices, they can grow, right? So that's like the transforming the Web2 companies, like another category of use case we have. So we're not just kind of closed door building. We actually start to talking with a lot of dApp developers, device partners, as well as our Chainlink. Chainlink is also our partner. Starting from last year, trying to collect requirement or collecting feedbacks on the architecture of the Webstream, as well as some potential use cases and go-to-market strategy from our partners. For example, we work with Chainlink. That's a really long relationship with you guys. Maybe starting back in 2-3 years. Delivering how do we deliver the real-world data all the way to the smart contract? That's a huge research topic. So we have been working with multiple Chainlink teams for that part. And we're working with Samsung and AutoPi. So those are like device partners. They are delivering like million machines, devices, phones, your watches to like people on a daily basis. So they want something also like some financial economic part to kick in to help themselves to grow, as well as some dApp developers like CityDAO, Health Blocks, some IoTeX months ago. It's like a Pokemon Go, right? So those applications, they need like a new design space. Kind of like DAO is bored in the game, DeFi is sort of like exhausted, right? They want something new to build like a really impactful dApps. That's kind of like partners we have for now. If you guys are interested in joining us, feel free, to just give me a say hi or something, or shoot us an email. That's the way. So definitely like a huge shout out to the Chainlink, who actually invited us here, and we have been working with the team in the past few years. It's an awesome team, it's awesome people. All right, so MachineFi, like I said, maybe you guys can answer a question right now. That's a $12 trillion kind of economy and opportunity, not just for us, for everybody here, right? So we want to work with builders, device partners, as well as founders, investors, perhaps everybody here to do this building all together, so we can unlock the door to the future. Hopefully you guys like this one. Unlock. That's what I mean. All right, so if you have any questions, so definitely I'll reach us through email, website, give us shout out on Twitter. I think my team is here doing some sort of like social media stuff. That's pretty fun. And our website is IoTeX.io, MachineFi.com. If you're a developer, you want to learn like how can be part of building those cool stuff, definitely goes to developers.iotex.io. So yeah, so also find this blue shirt here in the venue. So some of us are here. Thank you guys.